Hey Nordies, the internet can sometimes seem like a large playground that's free from real-world threats, but sadly, that's not the case. The online world has its bullies too, and while they may not push you or call you names in public, their actions can cause a great deal of emotional and psychological damage. So, in this video, we're going to be explaining to you what cyberbullying is, its various types, and how you can protect yourself and your loved ones. But before we move on, please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel in order to get our latest content first. So, what is cyberbullying? Well, it's not that different from its offline counterpart. It's any form of abuse that takes place online to make someone feel worthless or vulnerable. But by employing digital means, bullies can spread abusive content way faster and further. So let's identify the types of cyberbullying to be more aware of. Number 1, fraping. The term fraping is the combination of the words Facebook and raping, and this pretty much explains its concept. This is when someone accesses someone else's social media account from an unattended device or through stolen credentials. Bullies can then use it to embarrass the victim. They can change personal details, message other people, or create embarrassing posts. Having in mind that things tend to spread fast on the internet and that someone might print screen or save the post even when you delete it, such actions can cause great harm and psychological distress, especially for teens and children. Even a seemingly innocent fraping prank can cause trouble in the future. For example, if your potential employers check your account. To avoid this, make sure not to leave your device unattended and unlocked. Also, use strong passwords and don't share them with anybody. Number 2, outing. Outing is the public disclosure of embarrassing or sensitive data about someone. For example, a bully may use social media to tell about someone's bedwetting or psychological issues. Now, such actions can seriously impact a young person who still has a very fragile sense of self. To prevent this, make sure that you and your child use strong passwords and don't share any private info publicly or with someone that you don't 100% trust. Also, make sure to make the settings on your kids' social media as well as your own private so that no random people can look them up. Number 3, exclusion. Exclusion takes place when a group excludes a person from their activities. For example, someone can be excluded from a group chat, forum, or other online spaces. While exclusion is difficult to mitigate if you're not an admin of a channel or a group, things can be sorted out by communication. You can always ask for the reasons for exclusion. And if you didn't do anything to deserve this, maybe it's better to just leave such groups and to stay away from people who act like that. If your child experienced this, make sure that you encourage them not to be sad or even create their own alternative group. Number 4, harassment and stalking. These two forms are quite similar to their offline equivalents. Harassment is the targeting of one's online identity with insulting messages. It can cause trauma, especially to young people. Now, stalking is even more serious and can have dire real-world consequences as well. It includes following someone across the web by gathering personal information, breaching one's online privacy, and sending annoying or even creepy messages. Stalkers are going to sometimes take things even further by attempting to initiate physical meetings or unexpectedly turning up near your house or work. The very best way to avoid such actions is not to go into any further contact and to immediately block and report stalkers or harassers. If it happens to your children, always tell them to report such cases to you immediately. Also, make sure that they don't communicate with strangers online. Number 5, catfishing. Catfishing is the adoption of a fake identity to extract personal data or form an emotional bond with the victim. Catfishers can use it to lure somebody into meeting them or to get and share some sensitive info. Catfishing can be particularly dangerous if a victim gets too emotionally involved only to realize that this was a fake account created to fool them. There are some common characteristics of catfishers. They usually avoid offline interactions or video calls, give details that don't add up, or constantly change their whereabouts. Make sure to identify one as soon as you can, and make sure you instruct your children not to communicate with people that they don't know and trust. You can also check out our video about catfishing to find out more about it. Number 6, trolling. Trolling is the intentional provoking of anger and frustration. Trolls love to see their victims upset and getting out of control, so make sure that you don't get into their web of vague reasonings and contradicting arguments. While trolling is not the most serious cybercrime, it can still cause psychological problems and severe annoyance to people who aren't completely in control of their emotions. But you can make things easier by learning and informing others on how to identify a troll. While they're not always easy to recognize, a typical troll is going to take up absurd or self-contradicting positions in arguments. They're going to frequently resort to name-calling and adopt false identities online. They feed on other people's reactions, so ignoring them is the best tactic. However, if a troll is particularly persistent, you can also block or report them. And there you go. Those were the 5 most common forms of cyberbullying. After learning them yourself, make sure that you familiarize your child with them as well. And please encourage them to openly communicate with you in case something bad or suspicious happens online. Trust is an essential factor here, so make sure that you and your kids form a strong team in fighting cybervillains. You can visit the CyberSmile Help website for more info. You're also going to find the link in the description down below. So stay safe, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to share your story in the comment section down below. Maybe it's going to help others to stay more aware and to prevent cyberbullying. Also, please don't forget to protect your privacy and data with NordVPN.